Here's the number one reason you should buy your handheld right now.
Things are happening and happening very quickly, and it could mean that 2026, which should be the year of the handheld, might be the year the handheld is doomed.
That's very true.
In fact, it might mean all gaming peripherals are no longer obtainable, I think, is actually where we're headed.
Yeah, it's a very sort of dark and grey area for 2026. And whilst we've always been the advocates of buy what you can now, just because there's always going to be like a next generation or whatever, there's kind of more so a reason to actually get it right this second. And that just actually applies to any kind of electronic piece of tech, not just your handhelds as well.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at any computing device, whether it's a gaming device or anything with storage or with RAM, basically, you need to be considering getting your purchases in now, because we are seeing insane price spikes in RAM and in storage, and it's already having a knock-on effect into handheld gaming and gaming at large as well. We're seeing the prices starting to creep, the costs being passed on to the consumer.
Absolutely.
If graphics cards was all about crypto, then RAM is all about AI, and it's the AI companies, server centers and all the rest of it are eating up RAM like you do not understand.
And also storage, so all the flash storage and everything as well. So yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword here with both RAM and any sort of like solid state drives as well. They're just going to start flying in price.
We've seen like anecdotal things, stuff like 32 gig of DDR5 was costing more than a PS5 Pro in some territories already.
Yeah, which was insane.
Absolutely insane. You were saying about an anecdotal story about Samsung, who are a RAM manufacturer, or one of them companies is a RAM manufacturer, refusing orders to their own phones because of stock shortages.
Yeah.
And also, not anecdotally, actually confirmed, is Micron, one of the three RAM manufacturers, have stepped out of the consumer market entirely.
Purely because of the AI situation. So they've just taken a step back and said, we're no longer going to be servicing consumers because, you know, we've got too much of a demand basically on the other side. And
for anyone who's ever touched a PC and considered upgrading it, you'll know what Micron's consumer arm was, and it's crucial.
Crucial, yeah.
It's where I always got RAM. It was the OGs for upgrading your RAM. That was crucial.
The RAM and storage, so, you know, drives. It was the one place. If you bought a laptop, you go onto their website, type your serial number in, and it will show you exactly which RAM kit you need or which, you know, SSD, and you knew that it would be affordable, really good performance. My editing PC behind me, all the drives in that are from Crucial.
Yeah.
You know, the RAM kits I used to use in laptops were from Crucial.
Yeah.
You know, I always chose Crucial because it was always a good balance between performance and cost.
Yeah.
Really. So them just disappearing is mind-blowing to me.
It's huge. And they're not disappearing because they've gone out of business. They're disappearing because the demand is so much from B2B sales with the AI nonsense that's going on that it's easy for them to focus on that. To give you an indication of some of the costs involved, Switch 2, obviously close to our heart, got a lot of stick at launch for being expensive. We think it's the best value console there is, especially handheld right now. But Switch 2 RAM prices have increased 41%, and their storage is up 8%. So
that's nuts,
right there. That's a significant cost increase. It's a tough time for tech. Like when you consider they're having to deal with tariffs and they're having to deal with this as well. Like cost of everything's increasing everywhere. A 41% increase in RAM prices. There is no way that they can sustain that long term without passing the cost on.
No, not at all. Especially when you can see they're trying to keep costs down anyway, despite people thinking it's expensive. When you look at the price of like a PS5 Pro and it's like nearly like 800.
Yeah.
You look at these other handhelds well above 1,000. You know, like Nintendo have got the low price here. They can't eat that up. No. A 41% and an 8% increase in what it will cost them to manufacture. Like they're already subsidizing the cost by increasing the cost of the accessories because of, you know, tariffs and things like that. in the Americas. So I feel like we're going to get a worldwide increase in price on the Switch 2 next year. Yeah. It's almost a definite.
You hit the nail on the head exactly with Nintendo. It's low cost at the moment because it's subsidized by software and accessories, and they know that they're going to get a lot of those sales, so they can take a small margin on the console, let's say, but that will eat any margin that they have, meaning they're selling definitely a loss, which is unsustainable really long term. So that prices will have to increase if that price increase sustains on RAM. On Xbox, so looking at the Xbox Series consoles, it's estimated that the cost of RAM is going to increase in them between $80 and $100 per console.
Yeah, that's insane. And we've already seen price hikes on the Xbox consoles over the past 12 months anyway. So having another price hike on that, sort of 5-6 years into the generation?
I know. What's the retail price on an Xbox Series like X now? It's like 400, is it something like that? 450?
I'm not too sure on the price. I think it's pushing 500. Yeah, I know in America it goes even higher when you look at the 2 terabyte model.
Sure,
I think it's 800.
Yeah, but if you just say like the baseline's around that £400 to £500 mark, 100 increase in that, you're looking at a 20 to 25% increase in price just on the components inside of it. That doesn't include or look at what the flash storage prices for inside that. Or the accessories that you might buy for like the Seagates and those expansion storage.
Exactly that, yeah. And that's one thing we didn't touch on the Switch 2 is it's kind of only accepts micro SD card express, which is already the most expensive form of storage out there. You know, it's like £60 or like $80 for 256 gig upgrade. Like, imagine what that's going to start costing. You know, the 2 terabyte ones, or is it? I think the 1 terabyte ones are like £200 already. Like well over $200.
We all assumed, like, don't worry about it. It's just because it's the only console that's using it. It's a new format. It will drop as more people buy it. When there's going to be this much competition for all types of flash storage in general, then the price isn't going to drop. So I can't imagine those 1 terabyte. That 1 terabyte flash storage is going to drop anytime soon.
No, and it's the same with even if you've already got, let's say, your Xbox or your Switch 2, and you're looking at getting one of those expansion cards or a micro SD card express, or even if you've got a PS5 and you're looking or planning on getting a like a Gen 4 SSD to upgrade it with, you definitely want to be looking at that right now.
Yeah. And that's actually a really interesting point with like Crucial stepping out of the consumer market, or Micron, with these price rises coming. When you're looking at consoles and console manufacturers and then like OEMs like Asus and Lenovo and stuff, for a short period of time, depending on how much stock they already have, they can eat the price increase for it may be a quarter, it may be 3 months, but there's a period of time in which they can swallow the cost because they haven't had to buy the parts at this new inflated price.
Yeah, they've already got it. Yeah.
But if you're looking at components, you have to jump in as soon as possible because it's only going to go up from here. But because you're dealing with individual components, you get to see the price rises immediately.
Yes, that's why we're seeing those jumps on RAM and why it's like the equivalent of a PlayStation 5 like versus, which is just absolutely insanity. I do worry for the Xbox handhelds, so the Ally and the Ally X, because they're already pretty pricey. I mean, here in the UK, the Ally X is 800. It's 1,000 in America. Yeah. What's that going to jump up to? You know, the Legion Go is really expensive already, breaking 1,000. So what's that going to jump up to? The same with the MSI devices. You know, like
what does this mean for the Steam machine as well? It's not even hit the market.
I was wondering about that because we've been speculating ourselves on how we think it's already going to be higher cost than everyone thinks. Everyone keeps thinking for some reason it's going to be like 500.
Definitely
not. No way. Like 750 to 1,000. Yes. And now with these kind of price increases, you're probably looking well over 1,000.
Yeah, it could
if this keeps up.
Yeah. And we could see a 2-tier pricing happening really quickly where the launch models are a price and then in the next quarter there's a price increase. It's a wild time because we, like you said with the Xbox, we never see price increases mid-generation. It's normally decreasing.
Yeah.
But we've already seen multiple little steps from all the manufacturers going up. And it's because of things like this. And now this is accelerating that. We're likely to see another step up again. So right now, the reason we are saying buy in now, if you're looking at the consoles, you've probably got a bit more of lead time because they tend to buy bigger stock because they're dealing with more customers.
Yeah, there should be more stock out there at your local stores.
Yes.
You know, they'll probably have like warehouses full of them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So there might be a bit of a grace period there versus if you were independently trying to buy a stick of RAM or a drive.
Yeah, 100%. And then in between that, then you're looking at the OEM PC manufacturers, which will have less stockpiling because they're selling smaller numbers. They're selling in the hundreds of thousands rather than the millions. Their prices are likely to step up really quickly, and we've already started to see that. The Lenovo Legion Go 2, the Z2E price has stepped up in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Z2, well, actually all variants.
Yeah.
So, but the Z2 itself, so here in the EU, UK, we get the Z2 with the 32 gig of RAM, and that's jumped up from €999 to €1,149.
It's a 15% increase.
Yeah. We're unaffected in the UK right this second
Yeah.
at the time of filming, but I imagine very soon it will probably start climbing.
And we don't know if that's because of RAM or if that was another factor that's increased that price, because 15% isn't in line with what we're hearing or seeing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely not what we're seeing in the commercial RAM, the consumer RAM market. That's stepped up more than 15%. And when we're hearing what's happening to Nintendo, they're at a 40% increase. So I can't imagine these OEM manufacturers can swallow a 40% increase in RAM.
No, it's going to be passed on to consumers.
Yeah, so maybe you're looking at a 15-20% increase in overall prices for these. When then, like you say, if you consider the Asus devices in the UK, what's it, 500 and 800 for the two different models?
Yes, yeah.
So you'd be looking at what, 600 and 960 if it was in line with what we're hearing.
Yeah.
It's tough sales. So the point being, if you're sat on the fence right now and you've been umming and ahhing, should I step in? Next year I might get it now. Please get it now.
Even the used side will go up in line.
Yeah.
Because people will chance it and be like, oh, look. And then everything's just going to go up across the board on that front.
Yes, it's dark. I don't know what this means for the handheld market in 2026 in general. Like, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Just gaming in general as well, I feel. Like on all fronts, I feel it's going to be bad. But yeah, especially with the handheld stuff. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Let us know down in the comments down below if you've learned anything more about this as well, because it's obviously a fast-moving, developing thing. Let us know down in the comments. And if you are considering getting it, are you going to jump before the price rise comes? Let us know all of that down in the comments. And once you're down there, please do like the video, subscribe for more handheld gaming content. And what else could they do, Andy?
Become a member, you get to support us directly, and you get to chat to us on our private Discord as well.
Love it. So until the next time.
Bye.
Buy it right now because Andy is a shareholder in Asus.
Oh, yes.
That Lenovo doesn't buy itself.
That's it. Yeah, it got paid by Asus.